great funny car action coming up. World champions Raymond Beadle against Don the Snake Purdom, and young Texan Billy Meyer against John Brute Force. We'll be back. Just 45 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, it's grazing land, next to the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds in Pomona, where once a year a 200-acre section of the paved parking lot is turned over to Major League Drag Racing. And now we have the classic funny car matchup, a semifinal pitting world champion Raymond Beadle in the Blue Max.
We always run the car just as hard as we have to win. We're going to race to win this time, too.
Versus Don the Snake Purdom.
We've changed gear ratios, and we're really rolling the dice right now, as they say, and just going for the big number to try and put him away.
This is a classic matchup worthy of final round billing. Beadle, who set a new qualifying record here of 5.973 seconds, and also was under 6 seconds in his second round victory against Purdom, who was a 5-time Pomona winner. In 1975, 76, 77, and 78, Purdom was unbeatable here at Pomona. In 1965, Purdom's first victory here was in Top Fuel. On the other hand, Beadle, a 2-time world champion, has never tasted victory here at the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds, but his car's been exceptionally fast. They're in the line now, waiting. And Purdom babbles at the start as the Texan floorboards the Blue Max through the trap to stop the clocks, and still again under 6 seconds. 5.937 as Purdom coasts down the line. Past debris on the track. 245.23 miles an hour for the Blue Max, which apparently isn't... Oh, it's a convertible! The roof has come off. The windshield is missing. Raymond Beadle and the Blue Max crew are going to be faced with a monumental repair job to get that car ready for the final. And this graphically shows the forces that act on these cars at speeds approaching 250 miles an hour. The wind gets in, blows things right off. And in the next semifinal, pitting Billy Meyer against John Force, Meyer has had similar problems. His body cracked during the preliminary rounds, and he's worried about it collapsing. And then he blew an engine and had to make a hurried-up engine change to get ready for this next semifinal against Brute Force. I talked with his wife.
Yes.
What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about hoping that he's ready and hoping that he's safe. This is kind of dangerous when you're in such a hurry, so the guys are good in there, and they'll make it. They'll be good.
At moments like this, do you try to put the racing out of your mind?
No, because that's all you can think about. That's the thing at hand. You have to think about it, and you just hope that everything's all right. The main thing in my heart right now, my mind, is that he's safe, and I'd like for him to win too.
Will you be glad when this day is done?
Yes, if it ends the way we want it to, I'm always glad. But then if not, there's always another drag race. It's kind of exciting.
That engine Billy Meyer just changed is smoking rather badly, and it could mean trouble. I chatted with him as he came to the line. Billy, do you have anything left after this emotional interval between rounds?
Oh yeah, we're just getting ready again right now. That's our 4th motor, so it's we don't have much left in parts put together. We got a lot unput together in the trailer, but we just have to put them together again.
But you're breathing hard, you're gasping, and the race is about to begin.
That's all right. I can relax real quick.
So relaxed Billy Meyer is as he comes up against John Brute Force of Fullerton, California, a big man, and his funny car is vibrating at the sides as well. These funny cars are made to look like pleasure cars, but of course they're racing machines out and out with thin plastic bodies on them. Neither Meyer nor Force has ever won at Pomona, but Meyer did win one of the 10 national races last year. And it looks like Mr. Force was too anxious, and Meyer goes down. Yes, he knows it. He red-lighted. Meyer gets it at 6.355 or 181 miles an hour. A tough break for John Brute Force, a native Californian. Let's go back and have another look at that start. The cars are being staged right now. Force in the far lane, waiting for the light, and there he goes too fast, and he red lights. That's a foul, an immediate disqualification, and Meyer moves to the final. The Texan coasts to a stop as a crew member lifts the one-piece plastic body, and what's on Billy Meyer's mind right now is before he goes up against Raymond Beadle in the final, of course, is his car. At speeds of up to 245 miles an hour, the aerodynamic forces on these plastic bodies are tremendous. Meyer had his crack during the preliminary rounds. He glued it together. He has no spare. But what of the Blue Max? The last time we saw that car, it was without a roof and a windshield and in rather tattered shape. Well, in the Blue Max pit, crews are hard at work. Kenny Bernstein, a fellow competitor who was eliminated in an earlier round, has volunteered one of his spare bodies to the Blue Max crew. They've brought it over to the Blue Max pit, and while they're sawing the top of the Blue Max off, this plastic body is being sawed off. The body from Bernstein's car is being tailored to fit. The question is of time, of safety, and will it pass inspection? We'll be back to find out. The scene is hectic in the Blue Max pit. Racing ingenuity, cutting up a tray to make reinforcing straps. Even Raymond Beadle is working. Raymond, will the car be as good being fixed this way as it would ordinarily?
Well, you know, if we had a little more time, we could fix it a lot better. I mean, if the car runs real fast again, it could possibly blow the roof off again, but I don't think so. I think we can get on there strong enough. But you know, the car just run real fast, and it just right in the lights. I just fixed to get the parachute, and it blew the windshield out, and the roof come off.
How will you anchor the new roof on the old?
We'll just pop rivet it, and then we'll put some aluminum back behind it, and we're going to put a little bit of fiberglass on it. It'll set up pretty good. I think it'll be all right.
A confident man, Raymond Beadle. He usually does not work on the car, but the crew is working furiously on the car to get the body done. Then, of course, there's that engine work that has to be done, too. Kenny Bernstein, a key man in this repair job. Kenny, how come you're letting them saw up a perfectly good body?
He's a fellow Texan in Dallas, and we got to take care of each other, so we're taking my spare body that we carry in my trailer at all times for things like this, and we're going to take the roof off of this spare body, and we're going to put it on the Blue Max on top of their car so they can go win the race.
How about fastening it on? I see the windshield posts are cut. Will it be securely on it, Kenny?
Oh, yeah, they won't run it unless it's correct. They'll fiberglass it in and pop rivet it in. It'll be brand new. I'll tell you, it'll be a nice, pretty car, blue and red.
What's a body like this cost?
Oh, a body like this, about $7 grand we're going through right now.
Will you get a check for $7,000 tomorrow morning?
Oh, we'll worry about that tomorrow, Chris. Right now, we got to get in the winner's circle for these guys.
Just a few yards away in actual distance, but light years in concentration, is the Billy Meyer pit, where crewmen are doing routine work on the third engine of the day. This is the first interval in which this crew has not had to change engines, but yet they're doing the routine maintenance that takes place between every round. Billy Meyer, sitting on the edge of his truck, looks a lot more relaxed this time. It's routine this time, Billy, right?
Yeah, a little more routine, just a normal thing. Just take all 8 pistons out, Chris, and put them back in and check it. We did have to change 2 heads this time, though, but that's a little out of the norm.
Are you aware of the problems Beadle has?
Oh, yeah, but it's. I'm sure they'll get it done. All those cars are basically identical, and with Kenny's help, relying on them to use that Budweiser car, they'll be looking pretty good. I think that if they can get the fiberglass to set up good enough and get the pop rivets in there in the right places, they'll be there.
He's got 2 under 6-second runs today. Can you handle that?
I just hope he doesn't get his roof fixed.
Chris Economaki at Pomona, California for the running of the 21st Winter National Drag Races. The funny car final coming up, starring the Blue Max with Raymond Beadle at the wheel. The Blue Max lost its top in the semifinal, and a new one has been taped on, riveted on, glued on, and everyone wonders whether it will stay on. Here you can see the kind of work that was done by the crew to make the car ready for this dramatic final event. His rival in the near lane, Billy Meyer of Waco, Texas, who's had his trouble with engines all day long. Each man has had more than his share of car problems in coming to the line for this dramatic confrontation on this quarter-mile drag strip at the fairground. There are 2,500 horsepower cars ready to go at the starting line. And Beadle sideways and comes back in line. A beautiful, masterly handling job by Beadle. He got his car straight, but he loses to Meyer. And Meyer wins the Winter National Funny Car Championship. 6.529 seconds, 206 miles an hour. And Beadle coast to a stop. His roof did stay on. His speed at the end of the run, 236, 30 miles an hour faster than Meyer, who stopped his smoking car alongside. A dramatic finish to an exciting day for these two gentlemen. Meyer's engine in serious trouble there. The fans just love it. The crew comes down. They're going to have to fix that car, but they could care less. Hey, what a day. You won it, Billy. Congratulations.
An expensive win.
What's
Very
all that
expensive.
smoke about?
We killed that motor, too. It was on about 7 cylinders the whole time. I don't know what happened to him.
It wasn't a very straight line run for you, was it?
No, if he had had any luck at all, he should have been able to beat us. He ran very well all day.
Yeah. You're huffing and puffing, Billy.
I'm tired, Chris. That's 4 motors to do that.
4 motors, huh? What's that in dollars and cents, Billy?
More than we made. Just depends on how bad they are.
A week of speed and quick times, and none personify that better than the racer in the near lane, the four-time world champion, Don the Snake Prudhomme. On this run, Prudhomme established both ends of the new national record for funny cars, 5.92 seconds at a speed of over 247 miles an hour. The combination of this man putting on his fire safety suit and the sounds you hear tell us that it's time for funny car racing here at the Gatornationals. The plastic-bodied replicas using a drivetrain similar to the Top Fuel dragsters, one of the most popular of all drag racing categories, one of the most popular drivers, Kenny Bernstein. He'll be racing against the man that has established the new national record for funny cars, both elapsed time and miles an hour, Don Prudhomme. Trip Shoemake at the wheel of Johnny Loper's Little Hoss will be going off against the reigning world champion, Raymond Beadle. Gordy Bonin, two-time Gatornationals champion, will be racing Fuzz Miller, a newcomer out of Austin, Texas. Dale Poldy at the wheel of the famed War Eagle is matched against Dale Armstrong driving the Speed Racer entry. Kenny Bernstein, one of those cars under 6 seconds in Funny Car Eliminator, recorded a 5.99 second time in round number 1 of racing. But he'll need every bit of that performance and more to beat the man that has set the new national record, Don Prudhomme. He's in the near lane. Kenny Bernstein zeroing in on that quarter mile of asphalt in the left-hand lane. Starter Buster Count signaling somewhat away from the starting line as both drivers concentrate on the Christmas tree. Bernstein smokes the tire, and Prudhomme crosses the center line. He's out. He's lost. That means Prudhomme has been disqualified. You cannot cross the center line or the outer extremity line. And what a break for Kenny Bernstein. Watch here again as you see Bernstein, the front wheels off the ground, smoking the tires. He's out. That's it. He's lost right at that point. And then Prudhomme gives it away by crossing the center line and disqualifying himself. A tough break for Don Prudhomme.
When it all appeared to be in the bag, the car looked like it made a violent move, Don.
Yeah, it did. It shook real bad. A lot of tires shaking, just threw me over in the center lane. Nothing I could do about it.
When it shakes that hard, can you even see?
Nah, difficult, very difficult.
Okay, well, good luck to you on down the tour.
Thank you. Thanks.
A disappointed Don Prudhomme. Records are nice, but nothing matches the ecstasy of the winner's circle. The man that stopped the string of Prudhomme is Raymond Beadle and the Blue Max from Dallas, Texas. One of the most feared funny car racers of all is racing the ever-popular Rip Shoemake at the wheel of Johnny Loper's Little Hoss. The engines in these cars very similar to the Top Fuel dragsters, utilizing the aluminum racing engines with superchargers and fuel injectors. Johnny Loper, a longtime drag racer out of the Phoenix area, has had Trip Shoemake as his driver for a number of years. Raymond Beadle, part of that Texas contingent that has done so well here at the Gatornationals. Side by side, they are at the middle of the course. And it is an upset as Trip Shoemake wins it. 6.27 seconds elapsed time. A far cry from some of the fives that we have been seeing earlier at this event. Raymond Beadle slowing to a 6:31, just 0.04 of a second apart. But it really doesn't matter what the times are, how quick or how slow. It's who gets to the winners or to the finish line first. And in this case, it is Trip Shoemake by a car length.
Trip Shoemake, one of the most animate, bouncy drivers in all of drag racing. I think that's the first time you ever beat the Blue Max, isn't it?
I beat him in Ontario a couple years ago, but nothing like this. Boy, it was wheel to wheel. Got down there, and that's so bitchin' to be like 220 and see his fender there. Oh, nice. Well, I'm telling you. All of a sudden, I just put like a length on him, and he's tough, though. I mean,
You know, even though, Trip, you defeated the Blue Max, it's going to take better elapsed times than you're running to win this race, or a lot of luck.
well, I've been pretty consistent. I don't know what I ran that time.
In the 20s.
20. Well, we shook pretty hard, but we ran a 10 and 11, a 14 and a 15 before that. So even though there's like when you're running 590s, right on the edge of smoking the tires. And so far we haven't smoked the tires. We just got to do a little clutch work, and we'll find it.
Well, the big guys are falling like flies, and you got to love that.
Well, as short as I am, everybody's a big guy to me.
Trip Shoemake.
Always with a quip, Trip Shoemake, the driver for Johnny Loper. The standing room only crowd is standing at this point, as there's nothing more exciting in championship drag racing than the nitro-burning funny cars. This is Gordy Bodden. He's won this race twice, but he's always done it in the odd-numbered years, 1977, 1979, and he hopes that string will hold true for 1981. He's racing against Fuzz Miller, a relative newcomer out of Austin, Texas. Fuzz recorded a 6.06 second elapsed time in the first round. So have no fear, Fuzz belongs right here in round number 2, racing of funny cars at the Gatornationals. When we talk about elapsed time, that's the amount of time it takes to travel a quarter of a mile from a standing start, 1,320 feet. Fiberglass body covering the tubular chassis on Gordy Bodden's car. He's got a good lead off the starting line over Fuzz Miller. And it's Gordy Bodden with the win, 6.16 at over 242 miles an hour. His nickname is 240 Gordy, and he lived up to it here. This is the War Eagle of Dale Poldy and Mike Hamby. And there's apparently no other car in the other lane. He is supposed to be racing Dale Armstrong. We don't know where Armstrong is. It could be a big break for Poldy. We'll attempt to find out what's happened with Dale Armstrong. Right now, Steve's caught up with Gordy Bodden.
Gordy Bodden, your elapsed time slows up. You still get the win right. Is the track the same? Is it going away?
No, it's going away a little, Steve. It's I don't think we'll see another 5 unless somebody gets lucky out here. It's we ran 16, I think. Yeah. It shook real bad in the middle, so it's balling up and it's getting a little bit loose. We got to take some more clutch out of it.
So the mechanics can compensate for that in the clutch department, let more horsepower evaporate through the clutch?
Yeah, that's where it's at. But we haven't changed the motor all weekend. It's just we've been playing with the clutch, and I think we're getting closer, but you won't see another 5, I don't think, today.
Okay, good luck, Gordy.
Thanks, Steve.
Gordy Bodden and his crew now heading back into the pits to get their car ready to go. And that's what happened with Dale Armstrong. He wasn't ready. Some mechanical problems set in for the Speed Racer car. They were unable to make the call. It's a single for Dale Poldy. He shuts it off as he smokes the tires right off the starting line. And you say, oh, what a waste. But not to Dale Poldy, because he learned that he's got to make some changes. He'll be going against Trip Shoemake in the semifinals as Gordy Bodden matches up against Kenny Bernstein. Poldy heading back to the pits where Steve Evans filed a report earlier this week.
As the fans tour the exciting pit area here at the Gatornationals, the first thing that attracts their attention is what I call Semi-City. There's 4 times the number of 18-wheel transporters here than we saw last year. As the pressure of competition intensifies and the race cars become more exotic, it takes more parts and facilities to be truly competitive. These are complete rolling garages, spare motors, and the necessary hoists to make an instant engine change, machining capabilities, welding equipment, and onboard water, air, and fuel, and the room to work inside if the weather turns bad. And as the crew checks the nitro in the tank, Boston funny car driver Al Segrini relaxes in his little oasis here over a friendly game of cards with an even friendlier television announcer. Now if I could just win a hand.
Jen.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Bradley's. Trail to use a jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi?
That's right, Steve, jacuzzi. You cover the mechanical end. I'll take a look at the color TVs, the microwaves, the refrigerators. Maybe someday you'll get a chance to see what it's like. Back at the NHRA Gatornationals in Gainesville, Florida, I'm Dave McClelland along with Steve Evans, and what you're looking at is the world's fastest truck. Bob Mott's behind the wheel of the conventional Kenworth with a sleeper cab, of course, but it's powered by a J59 General Electric jet engine from a B-58 bomber. Bob Motts has over 17,000 pounds of thrust at his disposal, while the starting line crew member holds on to the Christmas tree to keep it from being blown over. The smoke starts out the stack, and away goes Motts. The fire and thunder of the jet engine as Motts brings the Kenworth to a halt from a speed of nearly 150 miles an hour. The NHRA Gatornationals in Gainesville, Florida, we're ready for the semifinal round of Funny Car Eliminator as Trip Shoemake heats up the tires on Johnny Loper's little horse. Right alongside of him is Dale Baldy in the War Eagle. The burnout is a very critical move for all race cars in drag racing. The tires designed to operate at the hottest temperature possible, and the way they get them hot is to literally burn them. They get them smoking, they get them spinning, and it provides the traction for the high horsepower engines to get these cars down the racetrack in the quickest possible elapsed time. Dale Baldy coming in the far lane of the track against Trip Shoemake. We saw Shoemake earlier just as pleased as he could be with his big upset win over the world champion Raymond Beadle in the Blue Max, but he's got a tough one on his hands here in the War Eagle. And you can see at the middle of the course it is Dale Baldy beginning to pull it out, and he does. It is Dale Baldy, 6:33, 223 miles an hour, not the quickest, but enough to get him into the finals. As we watch again, you'll see Baldy and Shoemake basically side by side for the first few hundred feet, and then in the middle it is Baldy all the way.
Dale Baldy with a sigh of relief. All weekend long, everybody's been talking about the 5-second funny cars, the number 1 qualifier, the number 2 qualifier, and waiting silently and sneakily in the middle of the pack was the War Eagle.
Yeah, I think we had 5 in the car, and we had it in during a qualifying, but the car wasn't hurting any parts. And I think we'd just rather have it consistent throughout the eliminations and stuff and see if we can get by that way, because usually the real quick qualifying cars, with a few exceptions, don't end up winning the races. It's usually the consistent cars that win the race.
And we'll find out who's the most consistent of this pair as Gordy Bonin comes up against Kenny Bernstein. Bernstein with a big break in the previous round as he smoked the tires off the starting line, but won the race as Don Prudhomme crossed the center line. He smokes it again, but this time it is Gordy Bonin straight and true through the quarter mile. A fine 6.12. You remember Steve talked to Gordy. He said they were going to work on it a little bit. They did. It went quicker. 6.12 for Gordy Bonin to put him in the finals, and he's got to be favored over Dale Baldy, who recorded an elapsed time of 6.33 seconds right here in the semifinals. The final pair of funny cars. It's been almost a week here at Gainesville Raceway to lead to this moment for 2 of the top drivers in the sport. The War Eagle of Mike Hamby, car owner, the partner and driver, Dale Baldy. He is racing against Gordy Bonin. And this, if tradition holds true, is Gordy Bonin's lucky year. He's made it to the finals, and he seems to always do well at the Gatornationals in odd number years. He won it in 77, he won it again in 1979, and here, under the capable direction of his crew chief, Jerry Verheul, Gordy Bonin is pulling into the staging beams for the final in the odd number year of 1981. Will it hold true? We'll know in just a moment. Dale Baldy is going to try to break that string. Let's see if he can do it. A great lead by Dale Baldy. Bonin out to the side. They're side by side. It's anybody's race, and it's Gordy Bonin pulling it out in the last few feet at over 241 miles an hour. Gordy Bonin wins his 3rd Gatornationals title. As they came off the starting line, it appeared Dale Baldy had almost a car length advantage. You see, inch by inch, Gordy Bonin making it up, and there by a wheel length is the win to Gordy Bonin over Dale Baldy.
Well, this will make the folks happy in Edmonton and Calgary, Canada. Congratulations. A great race.
Boy, was that a close race. I saw him right to the last light.
A 6:18 to a 6:21. Your top end charge paid off that time, 240 something.
No doubt about it. I mean, we got out there and got over on the side and started shaking like we've been doing all day. And like we told you, it's a little slippery up on the side. And that's when I saw him in front of us, and then we just caught him at the other end.
Okay, Top Fuel is on the line. Congratulations, Gordy Bonham. This is your third Gator Nationals win.
Now we can ride the motorcycle home.
And a great effort, too, on the part of Dale Poldy, who comes in here to congratulate Gordy Bonham. What a race.
Right now at the Southern Nationals, it's funny car time. Those fiberglass-bodied creations with the 2,000-plus horsepower engines that have become such crowd favorites. Let's take an opportunity to meet the drivers in this first round of competition. It'll be Raymond Beadle from Dallas, Texas, at the wheel of the Blue Max. He is against one of the toughest ever competitors, Don the Snake Prudhomme from Granada Hills, California. Trip Shoemake drives Johnny Loper's car. They come from Phoenix, Arizona, to match up against Paul Smith. He calls Hobie Sound, Florida home. Billy Meyer started in funny car racing at the age of 16 out of Waco, Texas. And Kenny Bernstein, now living in Dallas, dropped out of the sport for about 6 years, but he's come back strong. From Easton, Massachusetts, Al Sagrini. He's matched against the grand old man of funny car racing, Cheryl Greer, a hometown boy from Warner Robins, Georgia. In the first round, the first matchup we'll find the two men that have held the world champion title for the past 6 years. That's right, over the past 6 years, no other racer other than these two have won a world champion title in funny car racing. Don Prudhomme held the title for 4 consecutive years. Then 2 seasons ago, Raymond Beadle, driving the Blue Max, took it away. The second year, Raymond Beadle repeated as the world champion. He reigns with that title right now. In the first round, they're meeting each other. We asked Raymond, who's his toughest competitor?
Well, Snake's definitely we always think our toughest competitor, and we try real hard against him, and he tries real hard against us. Last night, we just had a situation where we would have ran him if we hadn't qualified better, and afterwards, when we went to number 1, he went to number 5, so we still run him, so we were in a no-win situation.
Well, it's going to be hard to tell. During the heat of the day, during qualifying periods that we've had, our car has run quicker than their car has. In the evening, the way their car is set up with a nice cool air, it showed that they like cool air, and we are thinking that that perhaps today they could have a problem of dropping cylinders, having problems with their engine, not performing in the heat, and we think our car can perform quite well.
Well, at this point, the talking is over, and it will be decided in just a few seconds. And it is Raymond Beadle out first. There goes Prudhomme towards that center line. He drives away. Beadle's car smoking. And it is Don Prudhomme with the win and the upset, as Beadle had been the low qualifier at 5.96 seconds. The qualifying doesn't count, as Prudhomme told us in the interview, and Prudhomme is the winner. The next round will be finding Trip Shoemake against this man, Paul Smith. And apparently some problems inside the car. It's a brand new race car, qualified very well here. The crew going inside the car must have been some type of shifting linkage problem. Generally, when you see the crew going in the windows of a funny car, that's what it is. Trip Shoemake sitting very patiently as all the work is completed on Paul Smith's car, and they both approach the starting line, ready to challenge each other and this quarter-mile racing service at Atlanta Raceway. Paul Smith's car totally unlettered, except for the number 10, indicating his finishing position in last season's World Championship. Shoemake with a big lead, and Paul Smith heads towards the guardrail. He has to shut it off, and Shoemake nipping a few pistons, but look at the time, 6.10, a 6:10 elapsed time. That's the amount of time it takes to travel the quarter of a mile from a standing start. Shoemake with a big lead, but Paul Smith already into trouble as the car drifts out towards the guardrail, and right there he has to lift away from it, gives the win to Shoemake, who's with Steve Evans right now.
Well, it's fun to see you down here for changing a favorites role.
Oh, man, I tell you, it's been a long time coming. I'm tired now. Well, it's good to be here. That's
You're in 6:10, but it sounds like you cooked it to do it.
Well, we did. We ran that 598 last night, and we cooked it then, but I'd rather go home with burned up pieces and go home a loser, Got plenty of tin soldiers where those came from, let me tell you.
Okay, we'll see you down here in round 2.
Okay, off in.
As Trip Shoemake and his crew heads back to the pit area to start work on their car, Crew Chief Ray Alley lining up Kenny Bernstein out of Dallas, Texas, into his own tracks after the burnout. The purpose of the burnout, in addition to heating the tires, is to lay down a lot of rubber to provide a good, tight racing surface so these huge slicks can get the traction they need to put these cars through the quarter mile in elapsed times of under 6 seconds. Kenny Bernstein. In the near lane, his competition is Billy Meyer. Meyer out of Waco, Texas, started his racing career at the tender age of 16. He is 25 years old today, and he's driven nothing but funny cars. That's right, at 16, he started his racing career coming out of go-karts and jumping right straight into a nitro-burning funny car. He is one of the best today. Here you see Kenny Bernstein with a bit of a lead at this point as Billy Meyer goes up into smoke. He heads towards the center line, causes some problems, and Ray Alley's wife very, very happy with Kenny Bernstein's big win because he recorded 6.08 second elapsed time, and his speed was a blistering 242 miles an hour. Billy Meyer smoking the tires, the car getting out of control. It heads towards the center line, and that's all for Billy Meyer. For Kenny, a big win.
Well, Kenny, based now on average elapsed times, you look like the favorite.
Well, you know how that goes, Steve. Those favorites come and go in a hurry. But we're into the second round, and that's a start. And now we'll go back and fix her up. We nipped her a little bit. Try it again.
Well, now the bad news. You race the snake next round.
Sure, yeah. Well, we're on the good side of the ladder. We had Billy, Prudhomme or Beetle, and the final, whoever the other side is. But we had the bad guys. Let's put it that way. It was Beetle, Prudhomme, Billy, and me on the same side of the ladder.
So you look ahead. A lot of people try not to do that.
Oh, I think that's in their minds. I like to know who's coming up next, even if there's a chance, right?
Absolutely. Okay, we'll see. You were the snake down here in round two.
That'll be it. Thank you.
And obviously elated Kenny Bernstein as we get ready for the last race of this round of funny cars. In the far lane, the Sting of Larry Kugel, driven by Cheryl Greer, while here in the near lane, it is Al Segrini at the wheel of this beautiful green machine. But when you're in Atlanta, all eyes are in the far lane on Cheryl Greer. He's from Warner Robins, Georgia, just down the road a piece. He's just moved into the driving chores of this car, and Cheryl Greer is the 1974 world champion. He admits to being at least 39 years of age. We say he's the grand old man of funny cars, and he qualified very well in Larry Kugel's car to match up against Al Segrini here in the first round of racing. Leaving the line together and up in smoke and out of control goes Al Segrini, almost into the guardrail. And what a tragedy that would have been. Segrini just about wore the new off of that one, but he brought it back under control. He lost it right off the starting line. Cheryl Greer, a fine time at 6.18 seconds, but I can tell you, all eyes switched very quickly over to Segrini, as when he came off the starting line, the tires instantly starting to smoke. He loses control right there and has the presence of mind to shut it off and bring it back into a straight line. In the semifinals, it'll be Kenny Bernstein against Don Prudhomme, Trip Shoemake going against Cheryl Greer. We're at the Southern Nationals at Atlanta Raceway near Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Dave McClelland along with Steve Evans, and there's some real action in the Trip Shoemake pit area. You remember he said he had blown an engine. Well, the new one hanging on the hook's worth about $15,000 to $17,000. They're taking the old one out. Meantime, Steve Evans is in the Al Segrini pit area.
At each NHRA national event this year, the McGuire's Wax and Polish Company presents a Best Appearing Car Award. Here at the Southern Nationals, that honor goes to Al Segrini's Super Brute from Boston. And the judges are using words to describe this car you don't usually hear around the track. Classy, they're calling it. Elegant. And I'll tell you what, this whole operation just reeks of quality. This is the best appearing car.
Back on the starting line, semifinal racing in funny car, and there's only one car running. Back in the background, the bright yellow body held in the air by the crewman. That's Don the Snake Prudhomme, and he's supposed to be doing these burnouts too. But something's gone wrong. He can't get the car to start. Kenny Bernstein finalizing all of his pre-starting procedures while Don Prudhomme sits and watches it happen. They have not yet been able to fire Prudhomme's car. A lot of problems for the Snake, and this very rarely happens. There comes the word from the starting line official. It will be a single, and Kenny Bernstein will be attempting to set low elapsed time, trying to get lane choice for the finals. And he's got a great run going, just screaming down the asphalt. Bernstein, 6.07 seconds at over 242 miles an hour. Don Prudhomme, he is not a happy man at this moment as they start taking the car back into the pits. But for Kenny Bernstein, after 242 miles an hour, he stopped quick.
Kenny, I don't believe I've ever seen a funny car run as quick as 6:07 as you did and stop so fast. What happened?
Well, she hurt her pretty bad, and it filled the inside of the compartment, the driving compartment, with oil. It came all over the windshield and everything. And when you do those type of things, you know it's hurt, Steve, and you just don't want to go too further in case there's a fire or something. So I got right after it. Of course, I use 2 parachutes. That helps a lot. Most people use 1. But when she's hurt like that and it comes up inside, she's hurt. You don't want any fires, so stop her. It's time to park it.
The next pair will match Cheryl Greer driving Larry Kugel's Sting against Johnny Loper's car driven by Trip Shoemake. And this Shoemake operation, a whole family affair. Wife Susie out directing traffic. And of course, the apple of their eye is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauty named Heather.
Who do you think's going to win this track race?
Daddy.
Daddy is? Does Daddy let you do anything on the car? Do you get to help? What do you do?
I help him back the parachute.
Help pack the parachute. That's an important job. Well, I think Heather's motto is best put right here, Dave. It says, I love racing. You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck to you and your daddy.
If I'm bad, he spanks me.
Is she something?
Something she is, Steve. That's Heather Shoemake, the daughter of Trip and Susie Shoemake. Trip encased in the roll cage of Johnny Loper's car. Here in the near lane, it's Cheryl Greer driving for Larry Kugel in the far lane. The winner of this goes into the finals against Kenny Bernstein. Up in smoke goes Cheryl Greer, and down that racetrack is Trip Shoemake. That's the brand new engine. Remember, we watched him put it in 6.20 seconds, running over the grease sweep left after the exploding engine of Kenny Bernstein on the previous run. It'll mean Bernstein will have the lane choice over Trip Shoemake in the finals. Funny car finals, Kenny Bernstein, he's been here before and won at the 79 Gatornationals championship. His competition, Trip Shoemake, has not won a national event title. He's knocked on the door several times. The 32-year-old Phoenix, Arizona driver wants this one badly. They've done an awful lot of work, that Johnny Loper crew. But of course, so is Bernstein. It takes a lot of work to win in championship drag racing, regardless of the category. All the work comes down to these final few seconds, though, when these cars leave the starting line and head for the finish line. Boy, they couldn't be closer off the starting line. In the middle of the course, it's anybody's race. And it's Trip Shoemake winning his first ever national championship. Susie Shoemake just overjoyed. That's her jumping around with the crew. And as we watch again, you see how it happened. Trip Shoemake and Kenny Bernstein, you can't tell them apart at this moment. And for Trip Shoemake, just the final few feet is what counts. He begins to burn some pistons. It doesn't matter. And Heather's daddy wins the big one.
I've seen you more excited after a first round win. I don't think you've totally accepted this yet.
I'm burnt out, man. We changed motors and everything. Got to run Bernstein. He's a bad Jose, boy. I tell you. I'm just glad to be here.
Well, you ran good too, like 6:07?
Is that what I ran?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They couldn't have me the time card. I went by the lights too quick.
Well, it was 1/100th of a second between you, so you must have left good.
Is that right? Yeah. That's good.
And here is daughter Heather and his beautiful wife Susie. Hi, Heather.
Good old Loper.
She said earlier today, she says, my daddy kisses me a lot.
Where's that old man Loper? He's a tough one.
Johnny Loper, the car owner from Phoenix, Arizona, who has backed this young man for so many years. And as I said before, they always had the parts and the ability and the desire, but it just never came their way. Congratulations to all of you. Wonderful moment down here as Trip Shoemake wins his first ever national event, the Southern Nationals.